Yes, people. Welcome back to the channel, man. Ryan Gravenberch said his idol is Zinedine Zidane. That's amazing for me, man. That's amazing. I want to know what you guys think about this as well, because I'm looking at him. He's 22 years of age, and you're thinking, "Rah, I can mold my game around, more modern day footballers." Zidane has obviously retired, became Real Madrid's manager twice, and won countless numbers of trophies. But for him to come out and say, that's the guy that I've molded my game around. His composure, his calmness, his elegance, the way Zidane used to play. You can see that. You can see that in Gravenberch's game as well. I want to know what you guys think about him mentioning that as well. We'll look at a couple of his Gravenberch's stats this season as well, and how he's been playing and how vital and how important he is for Liverpool Football Club going forward. And a player like him as well, did we ever see this from him? Did we ever see this type of level of performances? Or, did we just think, yeah, he's just one of those kids, he's got talent, but not really good enough, at the end of the day, when push comes to shove. And he stepped up this year. He's massively, massively stepped up with the amount of games, with the arm around the shoulder, with a position, with an identity, with, the understanding of what is required. Ryan Gravenberch has stepped up. It's a video that I saw on Liverpool TV, and they were just talking about, I think it was an interview, and he was just talking about, players that he watched, and, he's naming Neymar and Messi and stuff like that. And his dad is the one who turned around and said, no, 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 no. You need to go and watch the Zidane. And then he said, once he saw the technical ability, he realized Zidane was on another level. And Zidane was one of the best out there. And obviously, we live in a day and age now where everything's around the metrics and everything's around, stats and all of those kind of things. But back then it wasn't about stats. It was more your footballing ability. It was more your, how you could affect the game. And and there was no numbers or metrics attached to that. It was just you performed. You just turned up. You did what you could do in the game, and you highlighted and showcased your footballing ability. And I feel like that's kind of gone now. So for him to just come out and say, "Yeah, no, that's the guy that I'm molding my game off of," you know, when I watched him, and big up to his dad, man, for pointing that out as well. Because you'd expect him to go, nah, Messi, Neymar, all the modern day. Because Ryan Gravenberch, he's only 22 years of age, so he's grew up around the time when Messi was, at his high. Neymar was, on a high. So he didn't grow up around, the Zidanes, the Ronaldinhos, all of these guys. Obviously, if you're a footballing man, you'd know about these players. But he didn't grow up around these type of guys, man. But for him to mold his game around it, I see it. I see it. It's crazy that I didn't think like, nah, he's more of a Zidane type. Obviously, molding your game from this man, the amount of trophies he's won as a player and also as a coach at Real Madrid is crazy, man. The Champions League that he won with them as well. 3 Champions Leagues as a manager for them. 2 La Liga title, 2 Spanish Super Cups, UEFA Super Cups, World Clubs. He built a great team, Zidane. But as a player, he was fantastic, man. It was so fantastic. I'm sure if you went and compared like Zidane's best season, or even if you're mediocre-ish player now, you'd see that Zidane didn't have a season like one of them. And it's crazy because like then it wasn't around stats. Now it would be. You compare the guys now, you'd be like, nah, but this guy scored 20 goals and blah blah blah. Zidane only probably scored 5 goals and maybe 3 assists. But when you was watching the games, he was like, the amount of effect he had on the game, effect he had on the team. You know what I mean? But nah, it's crazy to see, man. But Ryan Gravenberch this season, man, has been outstanding, if not Liverpool's best midfielder. I did see a stat though that I came across, and it was amount of tackles. And McAllister is our highest tackling player in the team. I think it was from midfield. If, forgive me if I got that incorrect, but I'm sure when I just look, maybe I'll go and check back while the video's on. But it was like McAllister made, I think he's on like 60 plus tackles in the Premier League. I'm like, you don't even think that with him, to be fair. But just looking at Ryan Gravenberch this season, man, listen, outstanding, outstanding, outstanding. From a defensive standpoint, from an attacking standpoint, this guy is doing everything for us, man. And it's not like he's getting the goals, but he's the connector for us. He connects everything. He'll carry the ball into good areas and spaces, pass it between the lines, and then we can attack from there and give it to your specialists like your Mo Salahs and and co. You give it to those guys to go and finish off, what's going on. But looking at what some of the fans are saying online about it, man, Zidane is his idol. Wow. You can see that there's a lot of Liverpool fans that know the criteria what Zidane was about, and know that if he's looking at a player like Zidane as your idol, then you're doing something good, man. Look, Gravenberch, keep doing what you're doing, kid. Keep working the way you're working, man. Listen, there's plenty more games to go this season. We want you at your best, but to highlight this man as your idol, that's outstanding, bro. I can only respect it. I can only respect the level, and I can't wait to see how this season finishes, because let's put this out there. I think if he carries on the way he's carrying on this season, to the end of the season, we win the Premier League or a Champions League or both, he has to be up there in the Ballon d'Or shout. I'm not going to say he's going to obviously be, top or whatever, because there's still Virgil, there's still Mo killing it, there's Rafinha, but I feel like he'll finish in the top 20, in my opinion. I think he can finish in the top 20 list. And then if you're talking about the Golden Boy one, I don't know what the age cutoff is, but I'm sure it's around the 23 mark. I want to say 22 mark. I think he can definitely do it. And then if you're talking about Premier League player of the season as well, he's definitely up there. He could be on the young player. I don't think he'll win the players one. That looks like it's going to Mo Salah as well. Nice one. But I think he could win the young players one. I think he's definitely in the age category. I think the cutoff is 23 for young player. And right now, he's the best performing midfielder in the Premier League. Or let's say if you want to isolate it, he's the best performing, centre mid or defensive midfielder in the Premier League right now. Let me know if you guys agree. Let me know if you guys think he has an opportunity to win the young player, the PFA Young Player of the Year for the Premier League. Does he have an opportunity for the Golden Boy? I don't know the age cutoff. I want to say, because he's 22, so I want to say probably like 22 is probably the cutoff. So, does he have no opportunity there as well? And if we do go and win the Premier League and the Champions League, or either, or both, whatever it is, where do you feel you see him, in the Ballon d'Or list? I think top 20. I think currently right now how he's playing, top 20 definitely. But let me know in the comments down below, guys, and I'll catch you on the next one.